Hello, my name is Stephen E. Penner. I'm a lawyer in Santa Barbara, California, and I've been doing this for the past 47 years. I'm proud to say that I graduated from the United States Naval Academy in 1971. I served in Vietnam, in the Vietnam War, as a gunnery officer on the USS Turner Joy from 1971 through 1973. This meant that I personally saw combat on multiple occasions by participating in 29 engagements against the coast of North Vietnam during Operation Linebacker II, which included approximately half a dozen pitched battles with Air Force B-52 bombers dropping their payload inland, Navy jets attacking other designated targets, and Navy ships attacking coastal enforcements and defense sites. Because the USS Turner Joy was one of the two ships that started the war in early August 1964, the Turner Joy fired the last shot of the Vietnam War at precisely 45 seconds before 0800 on January 28, 1973. I completed my time in the Navy in 1975 and enrolled in California Western School of Law in San Diego, California. I graduated, passed the bar, moved to Santa Barbara, and opened my first law office on Carrillo Street in 1977. The law practice that I opened in that year is what has now grown into the law firm of Penner Purves. I'm glad to say that as of my retirement at the end of December 2024, the law firm that I have built is one that I am proud of, and the team and people that I have trained are going to be the foundation of a law firm that continues to serve clients well in the decades to come. I'm speaking today to my family, my friends, my fellow citizens, along with future clients and future employees of Penner Purves, about the law practice and the law firm that I've built. I'll do this by sharing with you 5 features of my life's work. First, I've built a law firm that rests upon the military values of ethos that the U.S. service members are trained to live and embody. In fact, the U.S. Navy core values are honor, courage, and commitment. These are required preambles to live by, and I intend that every member of Penner Purves will abide by and practice them. Honor. The thing about serving in the U.S. military is that when you get out of the service, you don't suddenly change who you are or adopt different culture. Once you are a U.S. military service member, you are always a U.S. military service member. This means that you live with an experience and a point of view, and that you believe that every person has dignity that must be respected, and that there are things in this life to which we owe reverence. Part of this means that we should show reverence and gratitude for those who went before us, and especially for those who gave their lives for our freedoms. Courage. Part of being in the military teaches the virtue of courage. Courage is temperate and not reckless, but has a willingness to engage in conflict or battle when needed. One of the characteristics of the law firm that I have built, and I promise this to future clients, is that attorneys and team members at Penner Purves will not shrink from a fight. When it comes time to go to bat for you and to go to trial, we will be fearless. At the same time, truly having the courage to go to trial also means having the courage to know when it serves clients best not to go to trial. Even if it means getting paid less, the law firm I have built will have the courage to get paid less when it means settlement instead of trial and peacemaking instead of conflict escalation. Commitment. We live in a time that is focused on always keeping our options open. Over the years that I have been hiring law office staff, I have seen a lack of commitment more and more with the resumes that I receive. Job candidates have more and more employers on their list of work experience, only staying in one place for a couple years, if not a period of months. I see this also in my work in family law, as we regularly come across spouses and parents who do not look upon their marriages or their children as commitments to which they owe any obligation. This lack of commitment in our culture today is sad to see. Because if you are not willing to commit to something, you have no idea of the rewards of staying, building, and compounding results over the long haul. There have been no great opportunities built without the long-term investment of study, discipline, and hard work over long hours needed to reach that moment of success. I've earned the right to say this, not only because I have practiced in the same profession for the same local community for the last 47 years, but I've also been happily married to the same beautiful woman for the past 44 years. I have built a law firm of people who believe in long-term commitments, and I fully expect that they will pass down and join with others who hold to that same important principle. Second, I built a law firm that is meant to stand for the same thing I choose to stand for. And what I choose to stand for: when I took my Navy oath of enlistment, I swore to the following words on June 28, 1967. I, Stephen Ernest Penner, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so help me God. These words have a history behind them. What does it mean to support and defend the Constitution of the United States? It means to preserve, protect, and if need be, to fight for our constitutional system of government. It means a commitment to what our Constitution stands for. A problem in our day and age is there is a lot of confusion about what our Constitution stands for. And many people seem to doubt whether our constitutional form of government even matters. Well, let me tell you, it matters. Forms of government matter a great deal. Read history. A form of government is based upon ideas about law and about power. The Southern Confederates of the 1860s, the Nazis of the 1940s, and the Soviet communists of the 1960s had some special ideas about law and power, but they weren't ideas that allowed for the protection of individual rights or for the kind of legal system and order that secures real liberty. There are many good reasons U.S. military service members were called to fight these groups, and many gave their lives in fighting those people and their ideas. Our legal system is not perfect. It is often very slow, but it is dedicated to the proposition that every single one of us is created equal. Our legal system has always been consistent in following this principle, but there is no good reason why it can't continue to improve and get better. Even more importantly, the law firm that I have built is going to stand for the good principles that our legal system has meant to preserve. Human life and liberty, inalienable rights, the common good, due process of law, equal protection of the laws, and protection of the rights and freedoms of every minority against the majority. This means supporting and defending the rationale behind our laws and our republic against all enemies, foreign and domestic, in the courtroom and in the public square, and in our schools, in our homes, in our businesses, and in our law practices. Although much of it has been implicit, I cannot express how happy I am that my wife and I have raised our 3 daughters with this point of view. I hope my grandchildren will also live by this same point of view. I will continue to enjoy watching the team members of Penner Purves fight and advocate for this point of view, and I believe they will do so in every single case that they take on for the good of our clients. Third, the law firm that I have built is going to stand for and embody something old-fashioned and traditional that we could call by different names. But I'll describe it first by saying that, as a lawyer, I've watched American politics for the last 6 decades, from the 1960s to now. For a long time, I moved in circles here in Santa Barbara where I had close friends who were both Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives. I've experienced and I've watched many a political dispute between Americans who remained civil and courteous with each other. Name-calling was looked down upon. Losing your temper and shouting at the top of your voice was not persuasive or compelling. Giving in to hysterical conspiracy theories was not normal. Refusing to speak to others, let alone refusing to treat other human beings with dignity simply because their politics were different from yours, is not something good people would do. I have been dismayed and concerned to see that the good in people seems to be changing. Friendships, like many of the friendships I've had, and like the friendship between Justice Antonin Scalia and Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, don't seem possible anymore. Politics is becoming a reason to not speak to one's family and to cut off relationships with friends. Whatever you want to call this hyper-partisan polarization in the early 21st century, I'm against it. And guess what? I built a law firm that will conduct itself in a way that is also against it. Instead, the members of Penner Purves will not allow politics to be a reason to not be civil to other human beings. One of the requirements for hiring of any new team members for our firm is the capacity to have friendships with persons who have different points of view. This means that the practice of law, dedicated to serving clients and families and utilizing the rights, protections, process, and procedures of our legal system, transcends politics, and the law firm that I have built will prize civility, human dignity, professional courtesy, and strong but temperate rhetoric in everything that it does, always far above partisan politics and demagoguery. These are values that I'm proud to pass on to those who follow me, and values that are so very important to the times in which we live, especially if you intend to pass on anything of value to your grandchildren's generation and beyond. Fourth, as a family law and estate planning lawyer, there are certain life principles which I think good lawyers should live by, uphold, and stand for. In Mark Halperin's historical novel, Soldier of the Great War, the protagonist, combat veteran of World War I, says the following: God gives gifts to all creatures, no matter what their station or condition. He may give innocence to a lunatic or heaven to a thief. But one thing God does not give, something that must be earned, something that a lazy man can never know. Call it understanding, grace, the elevation of the spirit. Call it what you will. It comes only of work, sacrifice, and suffering. You must give everything you have. You must love unto exhaustion, work unto exhaustion, walk unto exhaustion. You don't do these things by halves. As long as you have life and breath, believe. Believe for those who cannot. Believe even if you have stopped believing. Believe for the sake of the dead, for love, to keep your heart beating. Believe. Never give up. Never despair. Let no mystery confound you into the conclusion that mystery cannot be yours. I don't have to convince you. The world will present itself to you, the evidence, and the choices will be yours. Fifth, I have built a law firm that cares about intangibles that matter most to you and to your families. Those who work in the law firm that I have built will do their best to practice and serve those intangibles and to pay attention to what is most important to our clients, to what our clients most care about, most value, and most love. As I take my own steps towards retirement so I can invest more of my time with my wife, my family, my daughters, and my grandchildren, I am assigning everyone who works in the law firm of Penner Purves that I have built this task. Never be half-hearted about it. The profession you now work in, never serve a client by half measures. Believe in the honor of yourself and the firm, and in the honor that belongs to each human being. Have the courage to believe in that which is highest and most important, in the principles our legal system was meant to embody. Have the commitment to pursue those things which are most permanent and most meaningful for yourself and for your clients. In conclusion, it's my very great privilege to have shared all this with you. May those things that are true, good, kind, noble, beautiful, sustaining, and life-giving be defended and lived out by every single person who works for the law firm of Penner Purves in the decades to come. May the law firm that I have built serve the common good of the community and the republic within which it stands. May all of those I have trained, taught, worked with, worked for, and served treasure the goods of human life that most matter, and may you understand that this includes duty as well as liberty, obligation combined with total commitment. The need for us to live in this way is great, though the outcome is not certain. But if you uphold and follow the values that I have tried to uphold and follow in my 47 years of law practice, then that will be what you need to continue to press on. Thank you very much for your time.